Nation, it's the Outlaw John Rocha here with my spoiler review for Prey, this brand new film that's out now on Hulu for you to stream. A lot of you streamed it this weekend, saw your comments, saw your reactions, saw your feelings about the movie, both good and bad. This new installment in the Predator franchise is a prequel of sorts. It's set in 1719, 3 centuries before Arnie took on the original Predator in that 1987 action movie classic directed by JOHN MCTIERNAN. This time around, sitting in the director's chair is Dan Trachtenberg, who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which starred Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Goodman. And Prey features an all Native American cast for the first time, led by a seasoned actress, AMBER MIDTHUNDER, who was a series regular on FX's Legion and on the Roswell, New Mexico TV series. MIDTHUNDER plays Naru, a young Comanche woman seeking to break out of the gender norms in her Comanche tribe and to prove herself as a warrior. The other young Comanche men, they scoff at her, make fun of her, and even in one of the toughest scenes of the movie, they gang up on her when she fights back and they beat her up. Only her brother Tybee, played by newcomer Dakota Beavers, seems to see Naru's abilities and possibilities as a warrior. Their chemistry throughout is excellent, and he's actually the unsung hero of the movie because MIDTHUNDER is already getting an incredible amount of praise, but I'll talk about Dakota Beavers in a little bit. Naru is the first one to notice, though, that they are being hunted, the Comanche, by an otherworldly force, and eventually it is she who will have to take down the Predator in order to save her tribe and avenge her brother's death. As I said, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie, now's the time to turn back. But if not, well, let's keep going. Let me start off by saying that I absolutely loved the movie and had a great time with this one. Now, I have not fully liked any of the Predator installments since the first one. I mean, I can kind of defend Predators, but overall, they haven't satisfied me since that first installment, and I did not expect much from this installment, and boy, did it surprise the hell out of me. I mean, the acting, direction, script, topical and universal story, editing, pacing, cinematography, and the score all combined to deliver one of the biggest surprises and one of the best movies so far of 2022. Trachtenberg and screenwriter Patrick Aison's refreshing approach here revitalizes the Predator franchise and will get a lot of people just like me who enjoyed this movie back on board to see more of this series. Let's dive in a little bit deeper on why I like the movie and why it works, and let's start with the acting. You know, I love to start there. AMBER MIDTHUNDER is just flat out great in this movie. Her Naru is a young woman coming into her own, discovering her own voice, and unlocking what she can do as a warrior, not just physically, but mentally as well. MIDTHUNDER instills a determined steeliness into Naru, but also isn't afraid as an actress to show her vulnerability, or to show her failures, or how they affect her. A few franchises might take a lesson from how MIDTHUNDER, Trachtenberg, and Aison have constructed Naru. She's not someone who's a badass right away or who has figured out how to fight with little to no experience. We've seen plenty of performances where actors overdo the toughness or think maintaining a tough, angry look on their face conveys toughness. It's surface acting at best, and most seasoned filmgoers can see through performances like that because they lack depth, honesty, and vulnerability. MIDTHUNDER, like Schwarzenegger before her in the original Predator, isn't afraid to show fear or to question if she can beat the Predator. I mean, go back and watch that original. Even the Austrian oak isn't sure he can take down this alien creature. MIDTHUNDER's multi-layered performance has a determination and an authenticity as she goes on this universal journey of self-discovery. MIDTHUNDER's looks as an actress speak volumes about scenes, whether she's waking up to realize she didn't catch that lion, or tracking for her brother and the other young male Comanches, or when she sees the Predator for the first time battling that bear, to her warrior's scream at the end because of all she's been through. As Tony Montana in Scarface once said, "The eyes never lie, Chico," and there are no lies in MIDTHUNDER's eyes in this performance. And like any great performance, we watch her grow in confidence as the film goes on. From her failure in her initial attempts to be a warrior, to that moment with the French trapper and the scene there and how she's torturing him with the rats after her brother has been killed, to that final battle with the Predator. She figures it out, and by the end, we are cheering her on in that climactic final battle because we have been through the trials and tribulations of Naru's journey in this movie. Also, Dakota Beavers and Michelle Thrush are fantastic in the film as Tybee and Aruka. Beavers' Tybee is the perfect brother to the strong-willed Naru. He is a guide and mentor to her, a ball-busting sibling when he wants to be, a proud warrior chief, and a great leader who is open to input from everyone, regardless of gender, and that includes Naru. Naru. His death is such a seminal moment in the movie because of the affection we know he has for Naru and how we've seen him grow in the movie himself. Beavers gives him an energy that has us immediately liking him and maybe even wishing we had an older brother like that in real life. His calmness, smartness, and ferocity are all there in equal amounts, and Beavers delivers a damn good and extremely believable performance. Trachtenberg and Azon deserve kudos for creating a brother and sister team who are equally strong, intelligent, and capable. They don't default to that cliche of needing to make one of them look foolish so that the other one looks better. They are equally capable of doing the job that's assigned to them, and their chemistry, as I said earlier, really pushes that along. And Thrush's Aruka fills her limited screen time with an authentic maternal energy that is strong. She walks the tightrope between worried mom who accepts the gender norms of the tribe and loving mother who can't keep Naru from walking her path. The scene with her and Naru in the tent where Aruka comments that the tools Naru is using to hunt with are the same tools that Naru's deceased father gave her to chop food with. Naru is not having it though, and they have a very relatable parent-child exchange here that gives us a window into their relationship. And it might make you smile thinking of some of your own interactions with your parent or parents. Now let's move on to Dan Trachtenberg's direction. I was so impressed with his confidence here in understanding that if he was going to take this approach into the Predator franchise, he was going to have to let you breathe in the world a bit before diving into the action. You needed to let the audience really grasp the world of the Comanche, from the mundane to the not so mundane, and understand the gender dynamics going on in the tribe, as well as the relationship dynamics in Naru's family. Seeing how they rally to save one of their own in Puhi, seeing how Taibe conducts the mission, seeing how Naru tracks to help them and is ridiculed by the young Comanche men, all serves to enrich the world we are being presented and the dynamics. I mean, that shot of Naru walking in the opposite direction of the other Comanche women when she's made her decision to go after the Predator is one of the best and most meaningful shots in the movie, and it wouldn't have worked if we hadn't really understood the dynamics and how this Comanche tribe works. Trachtenberg shoots the world beautifully as well, while never letting us forget the impending terror and brutality to come for too long. Using sequences where animals go from hunters to prey works so well, which he does a couple times in the movie. The framing of his shots, accompanied by the cinematography of Jeff Cutter, are cinematic in their scope and never feel like you're watching a TV movie. From the lush grassy hills of the plains to the shot of Naru and the lion in that tree, to the shot of Naru and Taibe tied to a leafless tree amidst the fog, to the fast-moving shots of the final battle. It all works so well to transport you viscerally into this world and to appreciate its beauty along with its terror. And along with the great performances he gets out of all the actors, he also does an excellent job of letting you become acquainted with this Predator. This is not the same Predator I imagine from the 1987 movie. So we see this Predator in a new way, and we see how methodically and cautiously he hunts, how he thinks and surveils a situation, how he heals himself after battle, and how quick he is to think and act in battle, whether it's a snake, a wolf, a grizzly bear, a bunch of French trappers, the young Comanche warriors, or Taibe and Naru working together to take him down. By the time we get to that final battle, we're very familiar with the two combatants, which adds nice levels to the battle that wouldn't have been there if Trachtenberg had rushed it, as way too many action directors like to do. Also, the way he shoots that final scene with Naru coming out of the fog, holding the Predator's head. He makes sure to show us Naruku's reaction, which has a flash of pride race across her face and then is quickly wiped away so as not to upset the other female members of the tribe, with some nice, subtle genius. Chief giving her props, that great Easter egg that is the gun with the Raphael Andolini inscription, and the little girl looking at Naru as a symbol of what more she can be was all fantastic for a final scene. Again, Jeff Cutter's cinematography, though, deserves special praise here. Rewatch this movie and enjoy some of those shots. Really pause and savor them. The framing and the construction and the lighting, all of it works so well. Another thing I liked about the movie is Sarah Schachner's score. It effectively brings you into the world of the Comanche and accentuates the scenes in a subtle, grandiose, and pulsating way depending on what scene we're watching. Also, I want to give a little more extra special praise to Patrick Ason's script. As I've mentioned, making Naru someone we can all relate to and understand regardless of gender, ethnicity, or age was genius. Fleshing out the dynamics of the tribe just enough so that we understand what she's battling also works so well. And of course, laying the seeds of the quicksand, how the Predator shoots its arrows or projectiles using that mask, and showing the familiarity she has with her terrain all bear fruit in the end with that final battle. Also giving us some right awful villains in those French trappers so we can enjoy the Predator wiping them out one by one was very satisfying. I mean, we have to respect the Predator and its fighting abilities, intelligence, and slightly noble instincts before we can cheer for its demise at the hands of our protagonist. It also makes its defeat all the more satisfying. I also appreciate the moments of symbolism here from Trachtenberg and Ison with Naru. I already mentioned that moment with the young female child looking at Naru in the final scene. He is giving us a protagonist in transition who is suffering universal issues that we have all gone through. It's such a smart and inventive way to get us back into the Predator franchise. If Arnie is what we dream to be in terms of toughness, drive, and ability, then Midthunder's Naru is who almost all of us are. We're driven to prove ourselves, and we can be impetuous, angry, loving, and joyful in that pursuit, and we can also be smart and skilled and hardened by the end of our trials and tribulations in life. And the symbolism here was fun to catch and consider. Now, you may not agree with me, but I saw the Predator representing the white settlers who came in with better technology and sneakier tactics to attack the Comanche or Native Americans, wipe out their best male warriors, and take their lands. I even wondered if we were going to get a scene where the Predator wiped out the entire village, but I'm glad we didn't, because that would have been a bit too on the nose. Right, Book of Boba Fett? Also, that quicksand scene symbolizes a sort of rebirth for Naru, from who she was before to the warrior she is becoming. I mean, that French trapper torture scene really drove that point home of the new person she has become, and having that quicksand come back into play in the final battle was just genius. And finally, the action scenes of the movie are just fantastic. I really enjoyed them. The pacing of them all, the way they're filmed and constructed. I enjoyed the visuals of them. I mean, seeing Naru on one side of the barren tree and the lion on the other side of the barren tree, almost looking like a cross, almost looking like a crucifixion, some sort of sacrifice. That was pretty cool symbolism, and the way it's shot against the night backdrop was great. And the scenes where the Predator is fighting the bear or fighting the wolf are just great, or that snake. Those are all really cool sequences. And then when he's going after the French trappers, Lord God Almighty, and then getting Naru and Taibe to work together in their battle against the Predator as brother and sister, finally seeing them come together was really well shot. And then that final battle sequence between her and the Predator works so well for me. I am absolutely satisfied by the end of the movie. Now, if there's anything that I could criticize about the film, I would have liked a little more time with Taibe. I would have liked a little more time with Naruko, a little more time with the mom. And also, the dad is referenced, but what happened to the dad? What was the situation with the dad? We know he's deceased. I know that has happened, but how did that happen? Why is she inspired to be a warrior? Has she been someone? Is this about her dad? Is this about herself? Like, what motivated her? Has she always had this instinct? Well, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, maybe even flashback scenes of young Naru and what she's got going on would have been nice to see as well. Also, we get this Chief Comanche that is presented to us, but we don't really hear him. We see him in the distance when he's praising Taibe, when he's praising Naru later, but we don't really see him in conversation. We don't really see what his take on all of this is. Yes, Naruko mentions that he is suffering from a knee injury, a wounded knee, so to speak. So that's an interesting connection to Native American history, but I would have liked to have seen him come in with a little bit of gravitas or foundational piece of being someone who has gone through the wars, and he's an older chief, so he's instilling some wisdom or doling out some advice. I think that would have been interesting to add that to the film as well. But clearly we might not be done. If people's responses here are great and people love this film, then we saw from the Easter eggs and the painting there and the credits, in the post credits, that a bunch of Predator ships show up to go after the Comanche tribe. So is that going to be the foundation for the sequel? We shall see if a sequel gets done. I personally hope it does, and I can't wait. All right, I give the film 4 cowboy hats out of 5 cowboy hats. What a fantastically well-directed, well-acted, well-paced, well-shot, and well-scripted film with an incredible score here that absolutely all comes together to create one of the best action movies I've seen in quite some time. And it's almost like the little film that could, because it revitalized this massive franchise with other directors, other actors of note and of name who weren't able to do multiple times. And now this small little film comes in, kicks ass, just like Naru. I mean, the film is essentially Naru overcoming the Predator franchise and revitalizing it in that way. So there's some symbolism here for this film as well, and I think it deserves an incredible amount of praise. Well, what did you think of the film? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments section below. Always open to your comments and your analysis, your reviews, and you pointing out things that I didn't catch, which I always love to see. Keep it civil, keep it respectful, but leave a comment down below. Hit a like on this video, share it on your social media, put that hashtag The Outlaw Nation on it, and subscribe to my channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. Marching towards 25,000 subscribers. Help me get there as soon as possible. Head on over to Twitch, follow and subscribe to me there, The Outlaw Nation, all one word on Twitch, and the Patreon. If you want to support everything we do here on The Outlaw Nation, head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. See all the tiers and the benefits you can get for being a part of The Outlaw Nation. All right, y'all, take care of yourselves. Be well. Prey is on Hulu. Go and watch it again, or go and watch it for the first time, and enjoy this great film from Dan Trachtenberg starring Amber Midthunder. I'll talk to you next time with another brand new spoiler review here on The Outlaw Nation.